Welcome to the clashing of steel. Well, it has really been a long while since I last uploaded a video about the Carthage cavalry. On tier 5 they are light and agile, more like a support unit. While on tier 6 they actually lose the Numidian throw and get the mount kick. While they also seem to have a bit more armor and a bit more damage and defense in general, which actually gives them a chance to kill any type of range units in melee. And perhaps even fight against some weaker cavalry commanders. It is actually reasonable to flank opponents with this cavalry. The mount kick actually gives a great boost there. But compared to how they were on tier 5, it feels just incredible how well they have evolved. It might actually feel a reasonable option to send this cavalry against the melee units. While on tier 5 you pretty much want to avoid any type of confrontation. You just wanted to buff, debuff and use your Numidian throw. It even felt like sending your tier 5 horsemen against tier 5 archers, slingers or javelins was not worth it. It really felt like it took a while for you to kill same tier ranged units. But well, now that I'm on the tier 6, I have actually been here for quite a long while. I just for some reason have not made any of these videos. I'm still not going to give up buffing. I like the concept of buffing your friends and debuffing your opponents. I also like the concept of the Numidian throw, but I also understand the diversity between different tiers, so that different tiers would feel interesting. And you wouldn't feel like you're playing the same thing over and over again till up to tier 10, to give some diversity. But since I am playing with the horsemen and there are no friendly infantry or melee units nearby, I still don't want to fight the infantry units. I will try to use my mobility and poke where I can. Although I may not be as fast as the barbarians, the flying columns has a short cooldown and it gives reasonable speed. In some cases you might just want to charge in, pull back out and charge again. But it can be hard if yours and your opponent's troops are mixed and you want to use the mount kick. You might lose more troops than your opponents, and the outcome might be rather harsh for the cavalry. So there is a choice to make between steady engagement and harassment. And it seems it is about time to intercept. But nope, not yet. I'm still patient, I'm taking my time, I'm being very careful here. No need to rush into something that I cannot handle. I just want to poke them, force them, and when they are exposed, use that moment against them. And it is almost here. I just need to position myself and wait slightly longer for them to realize that they don't have many other options. And this was almost near perfect timing. I mean, if they target me, the spearmen will have the drop on them, so pretty much they had to fight for their life. And during that time I have fun with the slingers. And I can actually do some reasonable damage with this cavalry. What has probably annoyed me the most during this match is the catapult. He's not just annoying me but also my friendly spears and swords. He may not be that deadly against the highly mobile units, but the catapult is deadly against any type of heavy units, especially units like armored legionnaires. Some units that will have hard time trying to dodge the rocks. And it appears that my actions have forced him to act accordingly, so that he also has to pay his attention towards me. He can't just keep shooting, he has to manage himself. He has to be aware of the opponents that are nearby and willing to act accordingly. Although he did build another wall or fence, he still has to be rather aware. Perhaps I even bought some time to my friendly melees fighting near the river. But soon even I will need to shift my focus. I mean, they have still some ranged units alive and, well, the slingers made their first contact. Actually, I made the first contact when I charged into them back under the watchtower. But what they are doing now is not a smart move. I mean, they're alone here and they're stacked. It's like pretty much a death sentence. They could have been defended well. I mean, there are 2 units of swordsmen basically running towards them at this very moment. but because they got greedy and thought they didn't need defense, I came along and pretty much weakened them even more. Sadly, I couldn't finish them off, and well, they're still a small threat. And I just don't want to lose everything I have. So I just did what I could with the time I had. But sad to say, there are still lots of things trying to threaten me and my team members. The catapults. They indeed never want me to rest. But what I actually fear as much as the catapults are the other horsemen. They are impact-based Greek cavalry, which always needs to be dealt in clever ways. And sad to say, this time it requires a sacrifice. Oh, you're still here? And I understand, the catapults wanted to reposition themselves, but I pretty much cancelled that out. And well, this is my sacrifice. Giving up well, I actually didn't give them up, but I almost gave them up. At least, unlike the tier 5 Carthage Horsemen, I do have decent chances against hammer and anvil tactics using horsemen. It's been an interesting match. I haven't exactly wanted to sacrifice my units for some sort of gain, but I have been supporting and harassing opponents for quite a while. And perhaps even saved my friendlies or my own troops from certain harassment by the opposing catapult. Well, the tier 6 Carthage riders are definitely stronger than the Greek ones, while on tier 5 it truly feels the opposite. Well, I'm still fighting against mostly 1 tier lower opponents, but I'm happy for the diversity. I'm sure the Numidian throw could have harassed these catapults even more, but the resilience or the defense I do have is remarkable. And well, you're not that defended anymore. It's my turn to make you run once again. Gotta love it. Just gotta love it. And I gotta also hate it. But then again, that charge looked like it failed from the beginning. So I truly suggest playing Carthage Horsemen or Cavalry to tier 6. Because on tier 5 they kinda feel like a mere shadow of what the cavalry should be. They are probably one of the hardest horsemen to play in this game. But then again, they can be quite wonderful to use as harassers. But okay, the scoreboard. Offense score is mostly for fighting the ranged units. The slingers, archers, and of course the catapults. Catapults got mostly a slight poke of my heavy touch. I think the biggest amount of defense score I got from the slingers. Although there was some slight archer fire as well. Support score must have been when I was fighting around the river, when I finished off the slingers and went after the swordsmen. The Germanicus I fought near the river must have been the best in their team. The slingers didn't do that bad, neither did the catapult, but their archers indeed were the ones who failed. Also their tier 6 riders, which weren't sufficient, didn't use themselves in right locations and in the right way. At least the opposing Hannibal tried to do all that he could, which sad to say wasn't sufficient. Anyways, don't forget to subscribe and thanks for watching.